Hi guys, so I wasn't planning on doing this reading today, but I had MSNBC on the background, and so Clinton Watts, I'm sure you guys know who he is. He is a former FBI agent who talks about, I think he's a specialist in disinformation and so forth, and he was discussing, what was he talking about? Rush. I don't know Russian, never heard it. No, I'm Italian. Oh yeah. So anyway, guys, so he was discussing what's going on, and guys, I don't want you to be alarmed or anything. I think we'll get through this, but it's obvious how aggressive this whole thing is. Not just the Republicans, okay, but the Russians, right? They're very serious. They've been serious from day one. This is a very organized, long-term operation. So the question is, even though I'm sure that we're going to win, I'm pretty sure, I still want to know, okay, because honestly, if it's a situation where if nothing happens, the likelihood is that they're going to continue, okay, and it's very serious. So unless we have a unified front against this, then it's not going to work. And as I was saying in the video I did last night about the sonic weapons, if you know what I mean, it's kind of like we have to really be very careful, because my sense is that there are thousands of people who are participating in this, obviously not just the Americans, but the Russians. There's a lot of Russians here. What the hell are they? I'm not saying that obviously that every Russian is connected to this, but since the government there like kind of controls people, you know, a lot of the people who are Russian abroad, they have so much power. It's like, who's to say, you know what I mean? So it just feels like there's so much to be done. Okay, so the first question is, because, you know, guys, okay, I'm gonna put a parenthesis here. So I've done readings on Kavanaugh, and I know you guys, I don't watch a lot of other people's readings, but you guys have been telling me from your comments that other people have also seen that it's not going to happen. And I've seen the thing about Lisa Murkowski. Like, I see people, if it gets to the point where it's going to be voted, it doesn't happen. Okay, but it's obvious, guys, that they want to change the, and there was this woman on Twitter. She's a Russian specialist, propaganda specialist, and she was translating what was on their news. It said something like, yes, we're trying to destroy the U.S. from within. You know, it's like, what else do you need? It's obvious what's going on. Okay, so my question is, when, okay, how do I explain this? Because I'm thinking, okay, okay, you know, let me just ask the several questions instead of wanting the bigger question. I want to know the relationship between Russia and Kavanaugh. I think I've addressed it briefly, but I want to know how they're thinking about this and what they're thinking about what's going on in the U.S. right now, okay? Okay, so let me just remove this. So what is going on with, how does Russia see the Kavanaugh situation? So guys, right away I saw it's a very big deal for them, because there's a meeting with Lavrov about this, and they're like, if we can get into the judicial system like that, hardcore, you know, we're on, but you know, it's a thing they're really concerned about, obviously, right? So he's being briefed, and I've said before, guys, in all of my visions, I see the Lavrov even more than Putin. He's very active. Okay, Putin has obviously all kinds of things to do, but Lavrov, since I think isn't he the foreign minister, that's like his main concern. Okay, so I'm not Kavanaugh, but just the whole thing with the U.S. So that's one thing. Now, that's what it showed, that they're very, you know, they're like, yes, we're, you know, and it showed almost like guns, kind of like, to them it's an operation, it's a military operation. They're trying to providing money, they're providing support, they're basically also understanding that the Republicans are doing the work, but they're kind of monitoring to see how it's gonna. They believe that it's possible. They're being kind of measure to say with them among themselves, like, okay, well, it looks like it's very likely, so let's see. That's their position is. Now, have they given money to Kavanaugh? What is the deal here? What is the connection? Do they feel that they own Kavanaugh? What's the deal? So guys, they feel like, yes, they kind of own him because, and I got this number 160,000 or something, maybe understand something like 65. There's a large chunk of the money that he received to pay off his debts or whatever, there's money on the side, came from Russians. So they feel that they own him just because even by accepting foreign money, they can push him. They can say, well, look, it's not going to look good if you don't do what you want, because once that information comes out, then it's obvious that you committed crime. So what are you going to do? You're going to do what we want, kind of, that kind of thing. And also they kind of laugh at him because, not on his face, but that he is part of the a brainwashed far right, religious right. Okay. And they joke amongst themselves. They say, oh, ha ha ha, remember how the communists warned us that religion is the opium of the people. Was it a Marx quote, I think? Anyway, so it's just like, haha, they're laughing. It's true. Those people can't even think straight. They're intelligent, but they don't think. So anyway, so that's that. That's why they feel they're not threatened by him in any way. He was just a kind of like an expensive toy. They were like, oh, the guy costs some money, but not as much as to them. It's fairly cheap. And they're saying among themselves, they're like, wow, it's amazing how materialistic they all are, but it's not that much money if you think about it. They're saying, okay, those lower level people, okay, I mean, compared to Trump and all those people who wanted a lot of money. So okay, so that was the answer to that part of the question. Okay, now I think I'm going to ask this, I feel like it's getting more intense here. I'm going to ask two questions. A, what happens if Kavanaugh is not accepted, is voted in? What happens if he's not voted in? Okay, because as you know, guys, many people say, well, he can be impeached or whatever, but let's see what happens next. What is the Russian reaction when Kavanaugh is voted in or not? Okay, let's see what is the likeliest today, starting today. What is the likeliest scenario for Kavanaugh? And depending on the scenario, what is the Russian reaction? Okay, so I ask for spirits and universe to help us find information. Well, guys, so this is, wow, it's crazy. It's still, remember the image I had before, the thing about, like I said, it could be, it doesn't mean it is the truth or whatever, but the similar things coming again. It's like, I see him kind of like being in a, I'm trying to think, like a factory, like he's on it's like he's presented as like a package or something. Reminds me a bit of a, I don't know, these shapes are funny, like some sort of a, those makeup, I don't know, because I was just watching downstairs something in one of those makeup things, that shape that's like a kind of like a tear shape. So imagine if it's like a big box, that's this person, and that it was going in the right direction, almost like like when the image I'm getting. Have you seen in the winter sports? There's one sport that is one of those little cars that goes around the person, like it's really, really fast on ice, and it goes really fast, but it's as if like it was going, that's it, shoe in, it's almost there, but then right as it's there, because it's a little bit like a race, it's not like that round thing, it's like going, kind of like there's another sport that is like something that goes, slides, that something's sliding in towards a direction, and just as it's about to reach the destination, it falls off the tracks, as if something is going on a track, and it falls off completely. And the reason why it falls completely is that there's pandemonium. Okay, something puts, derails is the word, derails that. And when you look, everyone is shocked, and the image of the shock, it reminds me, have you seen these movies? I'm trying to remember. For some reason I'm thinking of these movies from about the Romans, when there's a volcanic eruption. Sounds like so random, but that's everyone. It's a natural. It looks like their reaction comes from a natural disaster. And it's, remember how I had this vision recently about this storm, the crazy storm. It's something like this, guys. It's so powerful. It's earth shaking, and they're like, oh, everybody leaves running. They're running away. Oh my God! Like, they're scared. Oh. And so it shows that the Russians are watching on television or whatever it is that they're doing, and they're like you know, as everybody else, even the Democrats were like, well, okay, whatever, you know, may not win or whatever. And then the thing, and I think, guys, I feel like it's happened many times. Right before the vote, the thing derails, and the Democrats are shocked, but the Republicans are like, oh, and the Russians are like, no, fuck. They're so angry, guys. They're angry because, you know, so it's not telling me what happened exactly, but what I'm sensing from many, and like I said, guys, I know I'm not saying, you know, I feel like you should be skeptical of me. This is not the truth or anything, right, quote unquote. I'm just saying it's very consistent. This thing is coming again and again and again, that there's something here, okay, that has to do with like something, and I'm thinking is the mass indictments, okay, because the expression the Russians face is that their plan is gone. It's over. You know, suddenly the other army has, you know, come in, and they have, like, boom, indicted hundreds of people, and they can't escape. Okay, they're desperate. It's totally unexpected. So this is what I think. Okay, so very interesting, guys. Wow, crazy. So I know I kind of almost, you know, these events are very intense, what's depicting here, but I still have the other question. There's all the series of questions, right? So the next question is, okay, I need to think. The next question is, how will this Russian interference thing be stopped? Okay, how will this be stopped? Because obviously we have, you know, more and more these Republicans like Rand Paul and all those people. It's so shady, it's so obvious, you know, Trump and all those people. It's obvious they don't want to do anything about it, and there's so much going on. So, how will this be stopped? Forget about the Mueller investigation. I'm not necessarily asking about how the Mueller investigation is going to stop it. I'm just asking when, you know, guys, when is the type of timing is not the point here, but tell me, how will this be stopped? Okay. Wow, guys, it's crazy because it shows, it's almost like it never happens. There's people yelling on the street. I have windows open anyway, but it never happens. What I just saw, that I go back to almost like a movie, like as if I had paused the vision, and it told me what happens next. So I told you the Russians in there like controlling whatever. It's like, they're angry but kind of scared. Like, what do we do? They're angry like that, and then the next thing is, it shows that from the U.S. side, I think the Mueller side, and the whole government, that is not Trump, they freeze accounts. They go, you know, there's all these cells, I guess. It's discriminatory. It's cells of people who are working for the Russians. They're arrested at the same time. Bank accounts are frozen. They are like have new sanctions against all kinds of people right away. Like, it's all done at once, the same time, so that they don't have time to react. And right now, as I'm talking to you guys, I see McMaster speaking. He's like, now we are, So I do think, guys, it's the military, the FBI, Department of Justice. Yeah, it shows that it's a coordinated thing, okay? and it's a it's a top secret thing happening because obviously the government is compromised, right? It's many people in the government. So this is why, guys, okay, and it makes sense from the perspective of the vision why nothing seems to happen, right? Because it's dangerous. Okay, so that's what it shows. And then the way that the actions seem to happen so quickly, even from our, like, whoa, hundreds of things happened and blah blah blah. We don't even know, like, only the 2 or 3 days the newspaper is able to, like, tell us everything that's going on because it's just so fast. So it's just like, it's so showing, it's like it's a war. It's almost like a war. It's not a civil war because it's only against those people who are spies, but it's almost, imagine, I remember, guys, when I was in New York in 9/11. And by the way, again, there's people who come to my channel that tell me bullshit about conspiracy theories. Bye. Anyway, so just a moment to tell how I feel. So anyway, so as I was saying, the thing about what happens here is that I was talking about 9/11, right? So there's all these, like, I remember when, like, there used to be, even, in New York, you hear, still when I hear sirens, I remember how it was, like, endless, and you feel like, oh, the people we arrest, it was like all these, like, intense searches and all those things, like certain cities, like all this stuff. It's kind of like this, okay, like how it was after 9/11, where they would arrest people, and then you would see their pictures on TV, like, oh, such and such was arrested, connected to da-da-da, whatever. Okay, so I don't remember, there weren't that many people here, but different from 9/11. In this case, there are. Okay, so I think they will be isolated, and there's not going to be a whole lot of time to react. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so as this happens, the whole thing is exposed, and the dominoes kind of fall here. That's what it looks like to me, because as I've said before, guys, it looks like Mueller and the U.S. military and people in general that are involved in this it looks like they're letting them think they're winning. They're not doing anything. Obviously, Trump's not doing anything because he doesn't want to do anything, but that's the strategy here. It's not just because it's dangerous, but it's because it's also their strategy to not show force, to not show ego, right? So this is interesting. Okay, so it looks like this is the end for this for now, but I want to see going how, okay, then in the next 2 or 3 years, how will the Russians, because they're in the UK, they're in Italy, like, how are this going to be stopped? If it's going to be stopped, how is this going to happen? This is quite interesting. So first thing, it showed that there's a worldwide moves, okay, and this is may surprising. Don't be shocked, okay, but it has to do with the financial. This is how the connection here. It goes to the financial system. So there's a lot of scrutiny, and this is how they're able to catch the people. Is how the money travels, right? So there is a massive freeze of accounts connected to all of this, and it told me, guys, don't be scared. Because I even have some clients who were investors who have invested in their personal savings in cryptocurrencies, and it said to me, this is how there's going to be a big crash in cryptocurrency, is when law enforcement goes to enforce some of the financial schemes they're pushing, okay, and that's connected to cryptocurrency, and this is going to get even worse. Okay, so this is what I'm just going to say. I'm not okay. I don't want to make this proclamation about. It's not the point of this reading. Is not about cryptocurrency, but it's what I'm being told right now. It's saying this is going to be the end of this era of the crypto bubble. That's what it's showing. Okay, it's not going to happen right now. 2 or 3 months. There's just like there's going to be a big change in this, because they're saying how there's a connection here between the bots and the trolls and the financial stuff. And it's telling me, guys, giving me like a really creepy guy who supposedly is the head of, what is it called? He was even named this the other day, head of, I guess, the Russian mob. It's a really fat, ugly guy. So I remember reading that just his nickname is like he's a financial genius or something like that. So they know how to manipulate numbers really well. Okay, it's not the mob of, you know, that we knew before. So it's not a mom and pop operation, it's something else. So anyway, so like I said, the difference here is that it goes through the financial markets. You know, it's interesting, right? Because we think it's all about the elections, but no, it's about manipulating the financial markets so that the money can flow and can cleanse illegal money, and the illegal money can go into campaigns. You know, so it's all of this, and this is why, guys, interesting. This is why there's going to be also, this connects to the change in the, there's going to be the change in the dark money groups. This is why it's showing why it's going to be so important to be, laws are going to change very quickly without much, you know, fanfare, in terms of there's going to have to, the revelation of whoever donates to politics because of this, right? So anyway, guys, so wow, this is good. This is very good. Wow. So okay, so let me just think. Wow, this is crazy, right, guys? So this is how, okay, yeah, there's gonna be a big, crash in Russia because of this as well. It's showing me, guys, I don't want to say, you know, there's going to be a little bit like Iran, kind of like how there's all these sanctions, like very hardcore sanctions. Okay, they're not going to be able to have, you know, all these people are going to suffer. There's a lot of high profile. I'm not saying, guys, you know, I'm not saying that, even though I'm very suspicious of every person who is Russian in the US, just because apparently over there the government is a bit like the mob, and then they kind of force, in a way, coerce people into working for them or whatever. It's just saying that those people are not going to be treated the same way. They're just going to have to kind of go to motherfucking hell. Oh yeah, you know, because it is what it is. So I think there's going to be massive confiscation. And I'm seeing Deripaska, I'm seeing that guy, Roman Abramovich, I guess his name is. Okay, so I feel, I mean, you know, it's nothing personal. It's just that's what it's showing their faces. Okay, so these people are going to have a lot of, like, they're very, very wealthy guys. They're trillion, I don't know, they have so much money. So they have real estate, and it's just showing me that, like, even real estate, big real estate in New York and all that, like, it's gonna be very aggressive, and it's not gonna be, it's almost like a different, it's not a form of warfare, but it's like, it's showing that there's gonna be very little violence, okay, meaning war and stuff like that. No, it's gonna be all about confiscating money. That's it. Okay, so this is why. And guys, I see, you know, what's his name, the guy who's now the Treasury, Mnuchin, in handcuffs, because it's connected to assisting money laundering and hiding documents related to these people. And Brian, you know, remember the guy, somebody asked me about him. He has a weird name, Breshkowski. I don't remember his name, guys. Brian Breshkowski, I think. I don't know. I don't remember if I'm spelling correctly, but it's also gonna be handcuffed. I see him too. Yeah, he's like he has a big job now in the DOJ, but I remember I did a reading on him before. I don't even know that I even put it on Patreon. I'm sorry, on YouTube, but that showed that he's not really gonna get what he thinks he's getting. Or who knows? Who knows? So that's what I'm seeing, guys. Okay. Okay, and the last question is, what are the chances that this is, like, could the Russians win in any way? Is there a chance that they could really win? Okay. Is there a chance that, for example, Kavanaugh could, you know, all this stuff? Is there a chance? Guys, it's showing no, because what it's showing here, and actually what's so surprising, is that when shit comes down, it's going to be, Mueller is going to be almost small, because it's not just about Mueller, it's a lot of different agencies involved. It's the military is at the core of it, right? Because they see, they have military intelligence, they know what's going on behind the scenes. So yeah, does not look good, no. So okay, so then, okay, so let's see, guys. It's, wow, it's a lot of information, and I feel like you have to probably watch this twice. So, okay, so next, how does Putin react to this, and how is Putin's presidency, how will this impact Putin's length in the presidency and his power. It's showing that Putin is like, you know, he's pissed, but he's like, I was risking a lot. It was a good plan. And it's shown that he's a king, but he's he's sick. It's shown that he's a little bit sick. I had done a reading on him a while back that showed that he has 2 or 3 more years of government, and that's it. And so I did this reading of 2 or 3 years, was early January, so it's already September. So I don't think he's not going to leave the government right away, but in a year and a half or 2 he could. And I think just as this, it's like you can please search. I'm not going to do a reading on this now. I'm telling you basically, I am doing a reading on this now anyway. But it's like, it shows that after this, then there's another oligarch, because the oligarchs are pissed, and there's another one. It doesn't work, because like I said, they kind of enter into sort of like Iran territory, where there's a lot of very hardcore sanctions, and it doesn't improve things for them. And then that's when, and I said before, guys, it's going to take maybe 10 years, a long time, something like 8-10 years or something, until they have like a normal government, because the stuff is not working. You know, it's funny, they're trying to be like czars. You know, the czars were in power before the Russian Revolution happened, so they kind of want to have that. Ultra power is not working, because this whole thing, you know, their crazy ambitions and everything basically is going to crush the Russian economy more. It's going to make life hard for average Russians, and people are going to be pissed. So that's what it shows, guys. So that's what it shows. Okay, it was like it was a game of them acting like that they had a lot of room to act as though they had a lot of power. So yeah, so like I said, it's going to buckle up, because it's gonna, that's what it's showing, guys. When whatever hits at once. Okay. And like I said, you know, it's for me, it makes me anxious to like, I've done very recently in the past, like, oh, it's going to happen this day, it doesn't happen, you get like really anxious. I don't want to do that, you know, anxiety situation. I'm just telling you what I see, and the timing is the timing. And if it does happen according to what I saw, it would mean that it's right before the vote on Kavanaugh happens. But we'll see. Okay, it's just, that's what it's showing. I have no indication that they're going to win. What I have the indication of is that whatever happens is very dramatic and very sudden kind of thing. Okay, so, and it involves all kinds of agencies in the government. So we're going to stop for now. I'm going to stop. It's like, right, there's a lot of information. I'm like, whoa. Okay, all right, guys, bye.